When you hear the names Theodosia and Florence, what's the first name that comes to mind that you would give their little brother? That's what we're on the hunt for today. They want a name that's probably on the longer side, probably outside the top 500, not a deal breaker though. The names they like but might not end up using are in bold. Based on those, I thought Hollis, Ellis, Eros, Magnus, Angus, Julius, Auden, Ronan, Adler, Nicholas, Joshua, Henry, Felix, Kaiser, Atticus, Caspian, Casper, and Casimir. Something I noticed is they're gravitating towards names that end with an S sound. They also have an interest in longer names and names that are nicknameable. Florence and Theodosia are both names that I call like standout names, where I'm imagining when these girls introduce themselves, they're probably getting a lot of comments like, oh my gosh, you never hear that. I love that name. So I'm trying to think of more names that have that vibe, except for a little boy. They love vintage names, so I included a lot of vintage name lists. They had a special interest in Latin names, Hebrew names, and Greek names. They're also interested in finding a name that has a positive meaning behind it. Narrowing down the top suggestions, I'm always breaking it down into categories. So the ones that end with an S sound, I was thinking Ambrose, Magnus, Hollis, Idris, or Osiris. I've talked before about patterns I've observed as a name consultant. I can't remember if I mentioned this one or not, but one thing I've noticed is if the first two kids have O's in their names, that's a pattern that will continue, and usually the parents don't even realize it. So I wanted a category dedicated to names that have O's in them. There are also names in other categories that have O's, but I thought Amos, Winslow, Oscar, Roscoe, and Isidore. I will say Isidore is one of my favorites in this entire consultation for them. And then I played a silly little game with myself, just like imagining a mom introducing me to her three kids, saying, oh, this is Theodosia, Florence, and then like made my brain fill in the blank as fast as I could, and I came up with Halston, Angus, Delmar, Amias, and Anders. I really love Anders too. Looking into names that have great meanings, Ellis, Alden, Davis, Sterling, and Clemens. And then leaning more whimsical, because I think with the sibling set, you really can go kind of daring. I was thinking Hawthorne, Peregrine, Valentine, Elwood, and Whitaker, so kind of a range of whimsy there, but I think any of these would work really well. And then honorable mentions that didn't fit like in any given category: Arthur, Fergus, Lewis, Otis, Harlan, and Ansel. I would love to know what suggestions you would have for them, and I hope everyone is having a great night.